Hey, my Level Up lovelies. It is November and we are getting into the fall season. So I have my fall scarf on just for the holiday season. And it was just Veterans Day. So the red, white, and blue. Thank you for your service, all of our veterans. So today I want to talk to you about loving recklessly. Now, they may sound a little bit off the chain, off the hook, but it's about loving in spite of what's going on around you. How do you love and keep loving, even in a world that may not be giving it back to you? We're going to talk about that on the next Level Up with Janet E. Hope to see you soon. Bye. Okay, so today we are talking about loving recklessly. So, when we bring up the word reckless, and in the definition for reckless, it means not caring about the consequences, not caring about, the repercussions of your actions. Usually that's what reckless means. So to us, what does reckless love mean? And how do we make reckless love part of our daily activity and interaction with others? So there is a song called out there called Reckless Love. And so it's interesting because it is a Christian song. So, kind of falls into what we're talking about here. So I don't know exactly who sings it, but yeah. So I'm going to go always into Bible verses because that's the foundation for everything that I'm going to talk about. So once again, you are with Level Up with Janet E on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. We are an award-winning channel. We have won the Davy Awards, the Communicator Awards, and also a couple other awards for our content. So hopefully this content is important and impactful to you. And if it is, just leave a comment, or you could just do a like, a share, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right. So I just wanted to give you an update that I am at the 2-month anniversary of my studio. So Metro Atlanta Dance opened about 2 months ago, or a little bit over 2 months ago, and is doing well. So we are located in Roswell, Georgia. So if you ever come down to Roswell, Georgia, make sure to visit us. And we are, all types of dance. So whatever you want to do, if you are a dancer, if you're a non-dancer, we do all levels. So we're excited because we have an upcoming show in December. So just looking forward to that, getting ready for that, prepped and everything. So just excited about the end of the year. I hope you are excited about the end of the year as well. There is a lot going on. We just had everything with the election and things like that. So there's a lot going on. And so we want to stay focused on what we are supposed to do towards the end of the year and going into 2025. So what does loving recklessly mean? So let me pull up my trusty notes so we can take a look at a couple of verses about love, because I think love is so important. It's one of those things that if we don't have it within our interactions with others, and especially even within ourselves, how can we pour it out to others if we don't have it for ourselves? And the love of God is so important in that, because God's love is cascading, overwhelming, and so, awesome. So if we have his love, then it's going to automatically flow out from us. It's almost like you can't hold it back. It's going to flow out from you naturally, because it's our cup runneth over the way that he gives love to us. So, okay, so let me just go to my notes here 1 second. Let's see. So the first thing I want to talk about, and actually I think I put in my photos in not my notes, so that's why I'm still looking. But the first thing I want to talk about is that in the Ten Commandments, it even talks about love and how you need to love your neighbor as you do yourself. So that's an important thing. Once again, I talked about loving yourself, and and God's love. But also God's love is there for you to love your neighbor and to pour into others. It's not just about us just going through life and me. It's about pouring out that love onto others in whatever way it needs to be, whether it be a kind word, whether it be a smile, whether it be a shoulder to lean on when someone is going through something, whether it be a word of advice and a word of support. So there's different ways to show that love. And just leaning into the reckless part of it, loving recklessly means, I stole my stuff, but loving recklessly means that we're not holding back on what, based upon our own mandates, based upon our own flesh of what we know God wants us to do. So God wants us to pour him out into the world, pour his love out into the world. So that means that if someone is coming to you and maybe God sent them to you to receive that love and receive that sense of peace and comfort, then it is your duty, honestly, your mandate in order to pour out that love to them. Now, you don't have to. We have free will in order to do what we want to do or not want to do. But once again, it is up to you as a Christian, a person who follows Jesus, to be an example of Jesus Christ. So in being an example of Jesus Christ, that means sometimes you need to be uncomfortable. Sometimes it needs to be an unfamiliar place or unfamiliar setting, unfamiliar person. But the one thing that's familiar is the love of God. So if you are familiar with the love of God and what he bestows upon people, then you should be able to bestow that too. And they should be able to feel that from you. They should be able to sense that and have that emanate from you. So know that that's so important, that when you're giving of yourself, that you're giving of unto God. You're being an example of what he wants you to be in the world, and that is love, that reckless love, what the world calls reckless love, but it is God's love. It is that agape love, that unconditional love that overflows and has no conditions, doesn't think about the consequences of the action, because you're not giving of yourself just to receive. You're giving of yourself because that's what you're called to do. So let's go into another verse. And, God talks about loving others as you love yourself. So that's also similar to the one about loving your neighbor. So the way you love yourself is the way you also want to love others. God loves you enough that he says he's going to look after you no matter what. He will never forsake you and never leave you. So that's the love we want to pour into others too, that we want to give them support. We want to give them the empathy, which is big, the empathy, which is different from sympathy. Sympathy is maybe feeling sorry for someone, but empathy is understanding what someone is going through and being able to put yourself in their shoes and feel what they're feeling, so that you can now pour in that love and pour in that support based upon how you would feel if you were in that situation. I think that's big, because a lot of times if we're not looking through that person's eyes, we wouldn't know exactly what they're going through. And I know sometimes it's hard to kind of look through another person's eyes, because we can never really know what a person's going through. But at least if we have that sense of empathy, it does help. And then the final thing I want to talk about, the final verse, is about hope, love, and faith. So it talks about, we have these three things, hope, love, and faith, but the greatest of these is love. So why is that? Because you have hope, that, there's a future, there's something ahead, there's something planned for you. You have faith, so you're rooted in what God wants you, and you have faith that God is going to take care of you. God is not going to forsake you. Those are all powerful. But the overarching point of that is love, because love is going to lead you to have faith in God and have faith in Jesus. Love is going to lead you to hope and have a promise, and know that God is going to take care of you, and know that God is going to give you what you need to be successful. So all of these things the overcascading arch of it is love. So I want you to know that reckless love, according to the Bible, according to Jesus, is loving and giving of yourself, serving, and being giving to others who may not see that out in the world, but they're going to see that in you. They're going to see the love of God in you. And that's the reckless love that I'm talking about. That's the loving recklessly. Not thinking about anything about yourself, but you're thinking about how God needs to pour into the world. And I'm going to be that messenger in order to do that. All right. So I love you, my Level Up Lovelies, all day, every day. It is allergy season, so I'm feeling it, but I'm still good. I love you. Hope you take care of yourself. I'm going to have my year-end review with all my pictures in December, probably going into early January. So I'm not going to see you next month. I might do something a little bit next month, but it's probably going to be the year-end review. So if I don't see you before the holidays, please be careful. Make sure that you're giving everything unto God and enjoy time with your family, your friends. Just have a great time as we end 2024 and go into 2025 with greatness. All right. I love you, my Level Up Lovelies. Ta-ta. Okay, so they finally left that.